Lost up in no man's land of the Northwest Territories. They were lost up in no man's land, the Martin Hartwell story.
Hey there, Rednecks, Preppies, Redneck Preppies. It's me, the Redneck Preppy. How you doing today? Great. Good. It's May. Winter has finally loosened its grip, even here in northern Canada, and people will start venturing out in the wilderness. And unfortunately, a percentage of these people will get lost. I know it's difficult for some people to believe, but you can get lost today. And here's some headlines I've seen in recent years. Hiker steps off trail. Body found weeks later. Experienced outdoorsman gets lost while hunting. Found days later. GPS sends woman into remote wilderness. Forced to spend a week in northern winter. And it can happen very easily. That first example of that hiker happened just a few years ago when the lady stepped off the Appalachian Trail, one that 3 million people use every year and is mapped and marked to death. To relieve herself, she got turned around and ended up so lost that she died in the woods. Her body was, sadly, not found far from the trail. Don't be arrogant. It can happen to you. One study of 100 news reports concerning lost hikers found that 42% of them got lost when they wandered off an established trail. Now, if you watch any of my survival videos, you know I'm rather keen on preparation. That means you should be telling people where you're going and when you're likely to return. You should be bringing a survival kit with you. Luckily, I just released a video on how to put together a pocket survival kit. I like maps and compasses as well, but if you'd rather rely on a cell phone or a GPS unit, it's better than nothing. Now, I don't care what you're doing out in the woods, a sling bag or your backpack should have things like a knife, water purification, fire starting tool, first aid, compass, flashlight, signal mirror, emergency blanket, whistle, and cordage. Hell, you can put all this stuff in a pocket. And I'm sure you can even make room for a few energy bars and a bottle of water. But okay, so you're lost. How is the irrelevant? And if you're like most, you're going to immediately experience fear and confusion. The U.S. Forest Service has a thing called STOP, an acronym of things that you should be doing. Stop moving and just calm down. Most people can't make rational decisions when their mind is racing with fear, and that leads them to do panicked things which could seal their fate. So sit down. Take a breath. The next thing is think. The reason why you need to calm down. Figure out how you got in the position you're in and analyze how to get out of it. Take a look around. Do you see any landmarks? Any obvious signs where you came from? At this point, you got no reason to take a single step. The next is observe. Look around you and take stock of the situation and your surroundings. Are there any immediate threats to you? Is there anything that you can see or hear that might help you? Can you hear a river? If you have a compass, use it to determine directions. If you don't, you can use that compass watch trick I taught you a few weeks ago. Ultimately, if you can see the sun, just remember that it rises in the east and sets in the west. Finally, plan. You're calm and you've taken a survey of the situation and your surroundings. Start to put together a plan based on what you've learned. And your first big decision may be move or stay where you are. The answer to that depends. If you're in no immediate danger, someone knows where you are, and you're overdue, I'd say don't move. Do you have reasonable expectations of moving in a direction and finding safety? If not, stay put. Is it night? It's a very good idea to stay in place. Trust me, traveling at night and in unfamiliar terrain is an excellent way to get more lost, injured, or worse. If you're going to stay in place, make yourself easier to find. Build a fire. If you have something bright or shiny, hang it prominently from a tree. If you have a flashlight, use it. If you have a whistle, make some noise. 3 blasts signals that you need help. Staying in place means you also need to start taking care of those priorities of survival. That means you need to put together some kind of shelter, whether from stuff that you have with you or from your surroundings. Build a fire. Water can be a bit of an issue. The last thing you should do is move away from your spot to search for water, but at a certain point, you are going to need to. So mark your trail to get back if you make that choice. But you've decided that you want to make an attempt to self-extract or find your way to safety. Good luck. I hope you're doing it because you have a solid idea that the direction that you're going in is the right one. That said, take advantage of things that you may come across. Creeks often feed into rivers, and rivers often have some kind of human activity somewhere along them. If you come across an old logging road, follow it. They often still see travel from hunters and hikers, and you're easier to spot. While you're traveling, take breaks. No reason to kill yourself with fatigue. If you have food, make sure to eat some. Ditto for water. If you can't self-extract before darkness, set up a camp, build a fire and shelter, and get some rest. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I consider staying put to be the best option unless there is no hope for rescue or short-term survival. If you weren't lost, you'd know where you are, and therefore it makes sense to move. Much of the time, though, people only end up getting more lost, potentially injured, and aren't seen again. Moving does make sense, however, in some critical situations, such as a need for water or some sort of immediate danger. That said, there are no hard and fast rules in all this. In situ, you have to make the call. As I said earlier, going in prepared will make any potential situation a little bit easier. The ability to make fire, shelter, and treat water will at least take care of your survival needs. Being able to navigate could fix your position and allow you to return to safety. Having a cell phone or GPS can make finding your way to be child's play. Just make sure they're fully charged before you go out. At any rate, I hope you found today's video to be vaguely entertaining and mildly informative. As always, I hope all of your adventures in the wild are safe and you never need to use any survival kits outside of practicing with them. Take care and bye-bye.